So Mighty Marvel Show, and I'm Paul, and for this episode I'm going to take you on a little journey through the realms of one of Marvel's most confused and mysterious and mythical figures who's got a very complicated but extensive history with Marvel Comics. It is the mighty Conan the Barbarian. Now, Conan the character, Conan the Barbarian, created 1932, a little bit of history here, back in a magazine called Weird Tales, and that was by author Robert E. Howard, and he wrote a series of novels and short stories about him. Conan is a barbarian because it says it in his name. Conan the Barbarian from the land of Cimmeria, which is in the fictional Hyborian age, and that is where Conan emanates from. And he is a good, well-mannered, well-intentioned barbarian, an interesting choice of character for a lead because he's not the most conversational. He's got some questionable morals, and he's obviously made of an era back in the 30s where the storytelling would maybe not have some of the sensitivities you would expect in the modern era, but he grew in popularity and became a very well-loved character. Now, in 1970, Marvel Comics picked up a license for Conan, and there was a bit of controversy for them, a bit of debate rather for them, because it was going to cost them about $150 per issue, which is a lot of money back in them old days. So Roy Thomas is the writer, and the incredible and very well revered Barry Windsor Smith even was the writing and art team on that. And first issue launched in 1970, and Conan lasted for 275 issues, right the way through to 1993. Now, within that, we saw a number of annuals. There were 12 annuals within that as well. And then there were a few different titles within that as well. There was Giant Size Conan, there was King Conan, there was a Savage Sword of Conan, there was Conan the Adventurer, Conan the King. There was a whole different range of comics that Conan was part of under the Marvel Comics brand throughout that period. Lasted very successfully up to the 2000s. Then that licensing ended, and then Dark Horse have pretty much picked up most of Conan's comic runs in that time. Then in 2019, Conan made his return to Marvel Comics. In 2018, it was announced that Conan will be coming back in another series of adventures, and there's some glorious artwork here from Esad Ribic and Alex Ross, that Conan will be coming back to Marvel, that the licensing had been secured again, and he was back in a number of different comic books. And that was great because it kept him back in the world of Cimmeria in the Hyborian age, and that was excellent. Then we got in 2019, starting in February 2019, we also got the incredible Savage Avengers series. And that has been something that's really brought Conan back into this era of comic book fans, particularly because this was the first time that Conan appeared in the Marvel 616, or the 616 universe, or the universe post Secret Wars in 2015, into the actual comics universe. Written by Jerry Duggan and art by the incredible Mike Deodato Jr., Conan comes into the Marvel Comics universe and he teams up with Elektra, Dr. Voodoo, The Punisher, Venom, and Wolverine. And believe me, this is a 28-issue run. It's lasted up to 2022. These are some of the darkest, grittiest, most brutal, unyielding, unrelenting set of comic books. It absolutely does what it says on the tin: Savage Avengers. And actually, it all comes together. It's linked to fighting the Hand and some ancient mythological beings. So there's a real pull and there's a real logic to getting Conan into this universe. And some of these team ups you get, they don't always necessarily make sense, but this one works fantastically well. And these characters really play off each other. And it's not even really about those power sets, but it's about those mindsets. So it's an excellent group of characters. And you get some real fascinating interactions in it. And there's a really great feature where the Punisher is spending a lot of time with Conan. And Conan talks a lot more to the Punisher about Crom and how he actually feels about Crom, who is that deity that he obviously worships and is ruled by. And it's a really, really great character piece as well. And it really sort of has encapsulated why Conan is such an endearing character, but certainly for me, over those many years of comics. And that fundamentally comes down to the fact that it's such a unique, different take. My golden age of reading comics was during the Silver Age back in the 80s, and that Conan one was at its height, really, and proving very popular. And yet they never linked him over with the rest of the Marvel universe, so he sat within his own stories. And I've never been a massive sorts of swords and sorceries fan, but really it's Conan that's brought me back into this universe. And to be honest, in terms of that side of it, nothing has brought me more attention of this glorious Mezco 112 collective figure. It is absolutely superb. Now, I've got the Conan the Barbarian version. Gutted I missed out on the Conan the Conqueror version, and I'm hoping I might pick that up on the second-hand market at some point. But this Conan the Barbarian, to be honest, has got everything I could possibly want from a Conan figure in it. It's just glorious. Based on this incredible Frank Frazetta artwork, which you've got here on the box, who's one of the artists that really become quite synonymous with Conan and really given that sort of classic, almost definitive look to the character. Based on that, this figure articulates like an absolute dream. It's got a bucket load of accessories. It comes with everything you could need. And it actually does fit in really well with some of my Marvel Legends characters and others as well. So that Savage Avengers team can certainly get built. But on its own as a standalone figure, it's one of my all-timers. It's just exceptional. And it gives me the great opportunities to create any number of set pieces in the Hyborian era, across Cimmeria, and you can do snow plains, or you can do mountainous ranges, or you can do fighting with creatures. There's so many different things that I've been able to do with this figure. I just never put it down at the moment, to be honest. So it's an absolute all-timer. Would I love a Marvel Legend of this? Yes, I would. It would be unbelievable. Are we going to get one? I highly doubt it. I can't believe that the licensing laws would allow for that figure to happen. And if it did, and if it's anything like the comics, when the licenses run out, they take them away and they come around our houses and knock on the door and have to hand all our figures over. So nobody wants that anyway. So I'm going to stick with this Mezco Conan. It's just glorious. And I'm going to keep looking out for that Conan the Conqueror figure as well, because that can only add to the fun and excitement I get from it. And that, my friends, I'm going to stop it here because I could go on forever about Conan, and I'm sure you're bored enough already as it is. So that is my little look at Conan. It might be quite difficult if you want to jump back and look at the character over Marvel Comics to actually access some of those comics, unless you know someone who's got some of the issues, or you can pick out a lot of the modern ones, certainly the Savage Avengers, through Comixology or through the Marvel Reading app, but you're not going to find them on Marvel Unlimited. But the collected editions are all out there in physical media. So happy reading if you're going for that. And let me know, have you got the Conan figure? What do you think of it? Have you got it? Of course you have. Do you love it? Of course you do. Let me know. Drop that down in the comments. Tell me your Conan history as well. I'd love to know your thoughts on Conan, who is a very different but very enduring. He's the most non-superhero-y superhero of all the characters I love. It's very different for me. And that, my friends, is it for this episode today. I am now off with Conan to go and have a mighty old tear up for Crom.